All right, welcome everybody. This is the college football preview here on GatorsFirst.com. I'm Chris Canada, your host for this show. Right now, we've got a couple of guests that we're going to be speaking to. The first of which is James Brown. He's
What's
also
up?
one of the original contributors to the show. How you doing, James?
I'm all right.
All right,
Pretty
James.
pumped for football season.
James is a Gator alum. He graduated when? '05.
Yeah, '05.
Okay. As for myself, I'm still in school, in grad school. I graduate in December. We're both
Let the
engineers.
record show I graduated and Florida went on to win 3 consecutive national titles
Right, so we were really
right after I
happy when
left.
he left. I got to be here for all three, so it was really great. But we're here to talk about this upcoming football season, the 2008 football season, hopefully ending with a bowl game in 2009, early 2009. And we're going to first talk about the Gators, of course, the Gators first. So, James, what are your thoughts on this season? What are the bright spots? What are the things you're worried about with this team?
Well, one thing I'm always worried about is we have a really poor record on the road against West teams. However, this year our only road game is against Arkansas. I'm not so worried about that, to say the least. They lost quite a lot of talent, and their coach losing their coach is probably an upgrade for them.
Obviously,
That's the opinion of the Arkansas fans I work with.
obviously, we're happy to have a bunch of our returning starters back. How many returning starters do we have? It's got to be pretty high in the teens. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
That's the insight you're gonna get here at GatorsFirst.com. Uh, no, but
Look it up on the links from
we're
GatorsFirst.com.
we're looking forward to a season back with your Heisman Trophy winner, Tim Tebow, as well as a bunch of returning starters and some new guys. Not necessarily new, but guys that are going to be stepping up and playing a lot of minutes and a lot of downs this year. Probably going to look forward to, the staples, Percy Harvin. Not Cornelius Ingram. He had the ACL tear. That's going to really hurt because he was very, very instrumental in how we played, how our offense moved the ball last year and the year before as a tight end. And I was already expecting him to go pro last year, so it might be kind of similar to him going pro. We're looking forward to a lot of speed as usual. Chris Rainey should be coming in and providing a lot of speed and action on the field, excitement, as well as a transfer student that we have in now, Emmanuel Moody. He's from the University of Southern California, USC, Juggernaut. They didn't want him, obviously, because they had about 1,000 other running backs, and luckily for us, we got him, and he's going to be a big contributor this season. What are your thoughts on some of the offensive players this year, James?
Well, a couple guys that I think haven't been getting the attention that I think they should. The first one would be Mon Williams. Everyone's been talking about the Southern Cal transfer, Moody, also talking about Rainey quite a bit. But Mon Williams was the starter last year until he missed all of last season because I think it was an ACL tear. At any rate, it was an
Yeah.
injury that he missed all of last year. And another guy that I think is going to step up for the offense is Aaron Hernandez.
Well, absolutely.
Really, no one's
Absolutely, you have
talking
to look
about.
for Hernandez. He had a couple catches last year, big games, not huge games, but he had some breakout potential that you saw last year, especially when he was subbing in for Ingram. He caught another one of those jump passes that Tebow had last year, and he should be someone we should be looking forward to this year, contributing a lot to this offense. We're definitely going to need him. I hope he steps up. We still have Tate Casey back there, so I don't know. Maybe he'll see some more action. He was a highly touted freshman when he came in, and he's kind of been a disappointment a little bit. But hopefully he steps up in the absence of Ingram. On the defense, this is where we definitely had some problems last year. We had a very young and inexperienced defense, and especially in our secondary, we were just getting lit up, and it seemed like we couldn't stop anything from going down on the other side of the ball. But we do have some good returners coming back. We have Carlos Dunlap. He's going to be great there on the defensive line. I met him not too long ago. He's a pretty nice guy, and he's looking forward to a good season. Of course, we got a bunch of linebackers coming back, and basically almost the entire safety core and cornerback core coming back. So yes, they're young. They were young last year, really young last year, and they're still a little young, but they've got that year of experience under their belt, and they should be good this year. Hopefully, a step up from last year, and they're going to be the main difference for us, I believe. That's just my opinion, and probably the opinion of a lot of other people. But if they step up and play the defense that I think that they can, then they're going to be everything that we're looking for this year, and they're going to be people that are going to make a difference and hopefully get us back to that national championship game. What are your thoughts?
Well, the large improvement I expect to see in the secondary, I'm still not real sold on what's on the defensive line being that improved. Dunlap's one player who's gotten a lot of attention, and I'm obviously excited about him, but I just don't think that we've had the depth with Omar Hunter and Matt Patchen not being able to practice recently. But the secondary, especially with Joe Hayden coming in and starting as a freshman at Florida, which no one had ever done, starting at cornerback as a true freshman before, I really look at him as being a big difference maker this year. I'm very excited about Joe
Yeah, he's
Hayden.
pretty impressive. I was really happy until he got injured a little bit last year at the end of the season. maybe a lot of it, not a little bit, but he was very exciting to watch, and hopefully we'll see some big things out of him. So let's look at the schedule that we got here. The first game is coming up in a couple days. It's Hawaii. They're going to be losing a lot of big-name players, Colt Britton and such. They also lost their coach, June Jones. I think that they're still going to be using that same type of offense, so you could expect them to be throwing the ball, chucking that pigskin often. So it's going to be an early test for our young secondary to see if we could stop them from moving the ball. Now, our offense should have no problem moving the ball on them. And I expect a win pretty handily. It's a first game. People would be pumped up. Tebow would be ready. And I would assume you'd think the same thing, James. Yeah?
Yes, I kind of mirrored Tebow's comments that I wish June Jones was still their coach so he could stick it to him a little bit with his comments around the
Right.
Heisman race last year.
The next game is Miami, and that's probably I know some people think that it's not that big of a game because Miami hasn't been that good in a while, but it is a big game. I mean, you have a state rivalry. These two teams haven't played in 5 years, I believe it is, 4 years maybe, and they're going to be pumped up. They're trying to bounce back. It should be a good game. I think that Florida pulls it out. They'll probably win by a couple touchdowns, but it will be a lot closer than people think. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout. Miami's got a lot of speed. They got a pretty good defense. It's just their offense that's pretty anemic. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, we've discussed this offline before, but I'd be much more worried about this game if we were playing Miami in like November to give a chance for that
Absolutely.
recruiting class to come in and get acclimated. As it turns out, there's 6 or 7 Miami players suspended for the first game.
Yep.
I think Robert Marv, maybe?
Yeah, I believe the other guy. I forgot the other
We should
guy's
check-
name.
we should check that before we put-
having a brain fart here, but Marv will not be playing in that first game. They'll be using their other guy who they're going to this 2 quarterback system, a la Steve Spurrier in the mid '90s, until somebody kind of steps up and shows. And the old saying, if you have
Well,
2
they want to-
quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks, or something like that, right?
Yeah, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you
So I
don't have
said it
one.
right.
So Robert Marv will be out, and so if he comes in to throw a pass, his first collegiate pass will be against Florida in the Swamp.
Yeah, you could
so that
expect
doesn't
some
bode well for them.
loudness there.
But yeah, I think that we'll be pumped up. We got a lot of South Florida players. I really don't think the players will look past it to be the blowout, so I'm fairly confident about us winning the game handily. I don't think that it'll be like when we played Tennessee last year, but I'm not that worried about the outcome of that one.
The next game is our first SEC game. It's also our first road game, and it's probably one of our biggest challenges at the beginning of the season until at least LSU. Tennessee, they're going to be returning a bunch of starters. They have a good team. They're ranked somewhere in the teens, I believe 17 to start the season. Anytime we go and play up in Knoxville, it's always going to be a tough game. I would like to say that we could win this game, but it's going to be really, really tough, especially if they could throw the ball around like they've been doing the last couple seasons.
I'm pretty worried about this game. I do like Urban Meyer's record after bye weeks, and it's worth noting that every team in the SEC East, other than Vanderbilt, gets a bye week the week before they play Tennessee. So that's going to be tough on Tennessee, but that's not restricted to Florida.